Hi, welcome to this presentation, a health campaign presentation of fighting Ebola. I am Nassanga Mary, and I'll be sharing with you about the Ebola virus disease, AVD, and how Ebola is affecting most of the people of Africa. Ebola is a rare but terribly killer disease. We're going to talk about its background and a little bit about the research that has been found by scientists. We'll also talk about the symptoms and the spread of Ebola and the preventive measures that we need to take to keep safe. Now let's get started. Ebola is a virus, first of all. This disease is caused by a group of viruses that can get into your body and make you terribly sick or ill. And a research that I found on the CDC website reports that Ebola virus was first discovered in 1976 in a certain village near the Ebola River in Democratic Republic of Congo. That's where Ebola originates its name, Ebola. And since then, there has been occasional outbreaks. Remember, the first outbreak was in Congo, and there has been occasional outbreaks in different parts of Africa. And additionally, scientists suggest that this Ebola virus existed long before the recorded outbreaks. And they also believe that Ebola is animal-borne and spreads through certain animals such as fruit bats, chimpanzees, and monkeys. And people can get sick when they get in contact with infected animals, which can lead to Ebola outbreaks in humans. I just wanted to tell you a little story, a short story on the several outbreaks that have been happening in Africa, specifically in Uganda. Mind you, Uganda has had several outbreaks, and this one is a fifth one. It was on the 19th of September 2022 in Mubende district, central Uganda. Health workers do report that they had started getting very sick patients with signs of bleeding, fever, vomiting, and headaches. They raised a concern, and a sample was taken from one of the patients for further testings. Later, it was confirmed that the patient was positive of Ebola. The news followed the declaration of Ebola outbreak the second day, which is the 20th of September 2022. And as soon as the outbreak was declared, an action was taken to contain the spread. For example, the World Health Organization offered help with Ebola treatment kits, plus the response team worked tirelessly to help people to stop the spread. Ebola comes with various symptoms, and let's get to know some of these symptoms. First of all, Ebola is spread through contact with blood in body fluids, and that is saliva, sweat, semen, or vaginal fluids. That's if one gets into sexual acts without protection. And symptoms can vary from early to late stages, or from mild to severe. And early symptoms may include headache, high fever, chills, and joint pains. And if there is no medical attention, symptoms may get severe. A person may experience stomach pain, diarrhea, vomiting, red eyes, and nausea. And this can also lead to death. And what can we do to prevent this from affecting us, or from getting into our families and our communities, as we've seen that it's a deadly disease? Let's get to the preventive measures. Some of the preventive measures that we can take to keep our families and communities safe. Prevention is better than a cure. As you know, it's better to prevent something from reaching to you than waiting for it to happen and cause serious repercussions. To prevent and stop the spread of Ebola, we should avoid direct contact with blood and body fluids from the infected people. If you get in contact with blood, saliva, sweat, vomit, Even breastfeeding mothers can pass this virus on to their, if they're infected, they can pass it to their infants. We should avoid having unprotected sex. Remember, you can get the disease, the virus, through sexual intercourse. That's when you exchange, when semen or vaginal fluid is exchanged, that can happen. And another thing, we should also, if we suspect any cases of Ebola, we should not hesitate to report such cases to nearby healthy care centers. Also, there has been a development of Ebola vaccines, and remember, vaccines are more likely to defend our bodies from illnesses. For example, there's been a vaccine against the Ebola virus that has been developed, so if it is available, it's better to take it in order to be safe. And other preventive measures could be avoid eating raw bushmeat. That can bring you serious problems. Meat from the bush, it can be meat from infected animals. And also use proper protective equipment when attending to Ebola cases. Don't forget to put on the protection, the gloves, and all that you need to make sure that you are safe from the virus and from spreading it. Well, due to limited time, I couldn't explore all, and that this marks the end of our presentation on this Ebola disease, virus disease. But for more information, you can access these websites. You can visit www.prevention.com, and you will find all the information you need to know about Ebola. And you can also visit the CDC, www.cdc. You can also find all the information you need about this disease. Alright, thank you. Just remember to keep safe.